Good time of day, guys. My name is Godzi, and welcome to Higurashi When They Cry, Ch.3 Tatarigoroshi. Yep, alright. I don't know how to do a fucking intro, apparently. I don't even know what to say. Just let's begin. Well, I guess I can do spoiler time to discuss what I remember about this arc. I think I did this for Watanagashi, but I can't remember. We're going into spoiler time, so I guess I'll explain what spoiler time is real quickly in case you're new with this in particular arc. Spoiler time is when I say spoiler time, mute until I say so. And by say so, I mean pull up the menu, the in-game menu. I guess here I'll just pull up this config here. Mute for specifically spoilers about this arc, I guess. I don't think I'm gonna talk about any arcs beyond it, but I mean, if you don't want spoilers for this arc, I guess you wouldn't want spoilers for any later arcs anyway, so yeah. Spoilers for this arc and potentially future arcs. Here we go. Mute now. Okay. So from what I remember about this arc is, I believe, as far as, well, I guess I am spoiling future arcs. So if you haven't muted yet, then mute now. Hinamizawa syndrome, the characters who get it this time, I think it's Satoko and to a lesser extent Keiichi. Because I know Keiichi kills Satoko's uncle, I believe. Satoko is an abusive uncle in this arc. She's very central to this arc. Quite obviously from her very probably, almost definitely being the thumbnail for this video. And also the icon for the game on Steam. So, yeah. As far as other things that happened this arc, fuck if I remember. Like, that's the only thing in particular I remember. Keiichi killing, Satoko's uncle with a baseball bat. Might have not been a baseball bat, actually. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, but yeah. I guess I can talk about comments that I got, on the finale of Watanagashi. So, let's do that. Let me just pull them up real quick. So, I'm gonna pull up the config. Okay, guys, welcome back. I'm gonna go into spoiler time, for a minute, again later, but first things first. I just want to say this one thing, too. And that is, since, if you're new here, this is something I do. And I also gotta turn up the music a little bit. I don't know exactly what level. This seems a bit too loud. That's probably more like it. I can't remember what level it was at in Watanagashi because there's no, like, numbers or anything, so that's pretty arbitrary, but we'll deal. And, yeah, I just do voices for the characters by myself, so yeah, if you don't like that, tough shit, I guess. I've done that. I did that through all of Umineko. I did that in Wonderful Everyday, Kikonia, even though Kikonia doesn't have voice acting in it anyways. Corpse Party, and the first two chapters of Higurashi so far. Guess I should also say, obviously I know, I've seen the anime. I probably should have mentioned that. The original anime, I've been watching the new one too. So whenever a new episode of the new anime airs, I'm going to take some time out of the beginning of the next episode that I record to discuss it. So, yeah, at the time that I'm recording this, 6 episodes have been posted, or aired, of the new anime. So, yeah, we're going into spoiler time to discuss comments that I guess not yet, because there's some things to discuss that aren't really spoilers, because they're about Watanagashi and crap like that, so yeah, if there's any spoilers, I will mention spoilers, so yeah. So, there's a bit of information to talk about. For one, this is about Watanagashi, the ending of Watanagashi. The translation of Rena almost saying, erased, was kind of a lame decision. Disappeared would have been better and draw better connections from the story to this point. The words are the same in Japanese, kieru. So, that's interesting, I guess. I agree. Disappeared probably would have been a better use for better word for the translation to use, especially since I thought they were saying era at first, because it was just ERA hyphen, and I was just like, era? What? And it took me a second to realize that it was supposed to say erased. So, yeah. The game does explain, like, 2 lines later, that that's supposed to say erased, but it's still confusing. So, I agree they should have used disappeared instead, especially if that's a direct translation. So, it's weird that they used erased in the first place, but, yeah. Whenever sis is used, it's one or older sister. This is a relevant detail essentially left out from the translation. That makes sense, too. Because of, well, I guess I will go into spoiler time a bit later, to discuss that. But, yeah. I forgot how good the OST gets near the end of this arc. I can understand that. The only new song I really noted by the end of that was the weird one with the horns and crap that happened during the phone call and when, Mion tried to knock out Keiichi. I don't know how I feel about that song. It's kind of wacky, but it's something, I guess. Finally, Tatarigoroshi. It's easily my favorite question arc. So heavy and dark. It's Higurashi's Belly of the Whale arc, if you're familiar with literary terms. I'm an English major in college, and I think I know what Belly of the Whale means. Kind of like, I don't know, not midpoint, but like, kind of where shit gets real, as if it hasn't already, but still. So, do I go into spoiler time yet? I guess. Oh, no, there is something else I can say here. This is a separate comment, but it's still relevant. If you think Keiichi acted dumb here, please look at Exhibit A, the Dean anime, the 2006 one. So for some reason, they try to play down the doll plot point, and it causes problems. At the end of Watanagashi, when he sees Mion outside, he doesn't even have the excuse of returning the doll to repent. He's just like, oh shit, it's Mion. Hi, Mion. Stab. It's actually pretty funny that I got this comment yesterday, because I rewatched the first 8 episodes of the original anime last night. And I had a pretty good time just being like, holy fuck, they just don't have the doll, like, at all. Like, they show Keiichi giving the doll to Rena, but then just nothing else doesn't show up ever again, so that's fucking weird. Definitely made that last scene feel very, very fucking dumb. And Keiichi's already kind of a dumbass, but that's just even worse, like, holy shit, yeah. I don't think it was necessarily a horrible adaptation, especially the last episode. The last episode covered, like, despite there only being 4 episodes that covered the whole arc, the last episode covered, like, basically everything that was in the last episode of my playthrough of it, so, like, 3 hours worth of content condensed into 25 minutes doesn't really seem like a good thing, but I guess in terms of, like, the rest of the arc being crammed into the first 3 episodes, it is, so, yeah. Is there anything else about the anime to say? I don't really know. So I guess now we're going into spoiler time for the original anime. So, let's do that starting now. I will pull up the config when I'm done talking about that, and I'm also going to talk about the new anime for a bit. In a minute, I'll specify that when I get to it. So the same commenter goes on to say about the original anime, I love how Shion here does the equivalent of bullshitting a history essay. She really just keeps going. It's impressive. What's even funnier is that she was accidentally right about Hinamizawa syndrome. You see, I did not quite catch that. So I don't know if I want clarification on that or not, but yeah. Shion in Watanagashi, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Shion, not Mion, who's killing everyone, because it's basically a mirrored version of Mayakashi is the 5th arc, where I'm pretty sure it's Shion who gets Hinamizawa syndrome and kills everyone, which is just the same as Watanagashi, but from her perspective. She really does just bullshit everything. It's very weird, but honestly, it kind of feels bitter already knowing that, because it's like, Watanagashi presents this motive for Mion killing everybody by having her be the head of the Sonozaki family, so it's like, because she's complicit in her own family's purpose, she's kind of forced into killing people that she doesn't want to kill necessarily. Like, sure, it does create more questions than answers afterwards when she tries to torture Keiichi and then stabs him outside his house, etc. But still, it creates the motive. But then, when you already know that it's all bullshit and it's just Shion because he's wackadoo about Satoshi, it's just kind of weird. It makes you feel like it doesn't really matter. But, I don't know. It's whatever. I honestly wonder if there was more Ryukishi was setting up with this scene that got mostly dropped and relegated to general foreshadowing. Then again, now that I think about it, she might have just recited shit from Takano's scrapbooks. The canned flesh incident was in there, if I recall correctly. I don't know how she would have gotten her hands on Takano's scrapbooks, but I don't know, maybe. And then, oh god, her speech, if 2 people are being attacked, then we bring 4. It's so different after Minagoroshi, Chapter 7. From what I remember about Minagoroshi, which is the 7th arc, like, Rika tries to get everyone together, and they all, to beat up Takano, but they fucking die. And then the next arc, she does the same thing, but brings Hanyu, and that's what gives them the edge, and they beat Takano. That's all I remember about Minagoroshi, so that's gonna be an arc that... I think Arc 4, Himatsubushi, is going to be the one that has the most new information to me, because I remember nothing from that arc, but it has Rika as the icon for it on Steam, so that's weird. It has Shion for Mayakashi afterwards, Keiichi for Sumi Horoboshi, Hanyu for Minagoroshi, and what I'm guessing is younger Takano for Matsuri Bayashi, which, okay. That's only with the 7th mod banners, though. Otherwise, it's just the Steam sprites for, Takano. And can I just say, from looking at the Steam sprites a bit more in depth on, like, the promotional images sold alongside the first couple arcs, I don't know how I feel about most of them. Like, they just look kinda... Like, Takano's looks okay, I guess, but, like, Oishi's feels cursed. So, that's something. Alright, time to talk about, the new anime, so, spoilers for that starting now. So I looked into it myself, and I made a mistake about the episodes in each arc. Actually, the one after Watadamashi is 5 episodes, and the one after that is 4 episodes. Note that this is based on the DVD volume, so it might be off, but I doubt it. The first DVD is all of Onidamashi, and I don't see it being different for the other arcs. Unless the 7-episode one has 2 arcs, with one being really short, I guess that's possible. So I think that lends more... If that's actually the case, and of the 24 episodes, it's supposed to be 4, 4, 5, 4, 7? Is that what it's supposed to be? So 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 5 would be 13, plus 4 is 17, so yeah, that would work. If that's the case, then I think that does lend more credence to the next arc, the 5-episode arc being a Damashi version of this arc, because I looked up to see how many episodes this arc is in the original anime, and it's 5 episodes. So that would still make sense with the fact that, like, the first arc's 4 episodes, then 4, then 5, but then the 4th one in the original anime is 2, which is probably why I hardly remember anything from it. But still, that's what makes me interested about the 2 arcs after what's more than likely going to be called Tatari Damashi, or I think that would translate to, like, curse deceiving. Because I think Tatari means curse. They say that a lot in the anime, after all. So, yeah. I don't know what the fuck they would do with the later arcs. Maybe they'll start throwing in Umineko and shit. I hope they don't throw in Kikonia stuff. I would hope not. There hasn't really been any signs that I've seen of anything Kikonia being thrown in. But, yeah. Then there's one more paragraph. I did some digging and found some interesting details about the potential future of Watadamashi from the PVs. We actually see Keiichi getting thrown into a cage, which never happened, and Rika asks if Keiichi did something bad last night. Remember that in Watanagashi, it was 2 days after that she asked. That is interesting. Of course, from the PVs, that might just be something different in a future arc or something, but I don't know. It would make sense with a different version of this, but also if Rika knows how, like, she's like, okay, this time, it's very similar to that one time, so, I don't know. Unless that is what leads her to think, like, I'm going to die in 2 days if I don't do anything. So, I need to ask Keiichi tonight, or today, about last night, instead of waiting for tomorrow, because then I'll have more time to actually undermine shit and try and solve shit. So that would make sense. There's a short clip where if you pay attention, you can see it's Keiichi going down the stairs of the Sonozaki torture chamber with Shmion. There's also a shot of Shion, or maybe Mion, but they wear Shion's casual clothes, staring through bars. She doesn't look scared, more like serious. Make with that what you will. Theorize away. And I think I do have a theory. So, part of me is thinking that Shion's Hinamizawa syndrome is possibly making her delude herself to look at Keiichi as if he is Satoshi. And then, we don't know how Mion reacts if she has Hinamizawa syndrome, but maybe it also makes her a yandere. Who fucking knows? So, me thinks that what's going to happen is both Mion and Shion are going to get Hinamizawa syndrome and fight over Keiichi, essentially. Maybe it's going to end with him getting tortured to death by both of them at the same time, or like a triangle kill or something like that, like the two kill each other and him simultaneously. That could happen. I don't know if Rika, Satoko, and Rena would then play into anything, but if we're still going along with the theory that Satoko is in the time loop now and working to undermine Rika, then maybe Rika and Satoko will still die again, and then Rena will just be there, maybe. Because she's the only character who seems to survive in Watanagashi. But, yeah. Otherwise, I don't really have any other theories about what else could happen in Watadamashi. I'm pretty certain that both Mion and Shion are going to get Hinamizawa syndrome. But that's about it. I think them fighting over Keiichi, more or less, would still relate with Keiichi giving Mion the doll, because I don't know, in the toy store scene, is it supposed to be Mion there or Shion? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much it matters, but yeah, that's it for the comments, because the only other comment is a joke about the one dislike on the video. Fucking Evan did that. But yeah, let's pull up the config and bring everyone back and fucking play the game. Welcome back, guys. Let's begin. Blomp. Bridge. Tatarigoroshi, the shortest scenario. Isn't next... wait. I was told that Arc 4, Himatsubushi, is super short. This doesn't make sense. This arc's longer in the anime than the previous two. Okay, whatever. Maybe it means, like, in-game time-wise? That's possible. Curse-killing chapter. Man, curse, or coincidence? How are the conjectures inside you solidifying? I look forward to whether those conjectures will waver or become a cornerstone in this scenario. The difficulty is the worst. You will probably not even be able to make conjectures. Laugh for me, why don't you, demon child? Well, the snake in the well was happy, for it did not care what was outside the well. The snake in the well was happy, for it had naught to do with what happened outside the well. The well, fuck. And you were happy too, for you did not know what happened outside the well. Thank you, Frederica Berncastle. I can't read that. Yeah, the fiction disclaimer. Thank you. AD 1983, the early summer of the 58th year of the Showa era. Womp. So how we starting this? The text box opacity is turned down, is it? Excuse me? Get up there, you motherfucker. Yeah, there we go. It was a very humid day. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot, but swelteringly so. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. I like how the text box looks. I like it like this. There were crooked houses and apartment buildings lining the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to wilt, as well as bicycles and motorcycles on the sides of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Sure does fit with the fact that we got a fucking heat wave where I live over the last few days, which is supposed to last until fucking, like, Wednesday at least. Nobody who was in this place at this time was visiting it voluntarily. But in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. Don't tip it over. The lone motor... Okay, no, this is something I gotta say quickly. I learned that one of the bikers in Watanagashi, whose bikes Keiichi knocks over, in the original anime, one of their hairstyles is just a swastika. How edgy. Alright, the lone motorcycle, which couldn't be called neat, even as flattery, pulled up to a 2-story apartment complex and stopped there. A man, fairly old and wrinkled, stepped off. When the housewife hanging out the laundry noticed him, she called out, "Well, hello there. It's quite hot today again, isn't it?" I'm guessing this is the guy on the motorcycle. "Oh, you've got that right. I feel like I'm gonna boil out here." "Oh, right, landlord. I didn't think that would be the first thing you said." Wait, I can't even tell. "Ah, sorry. The fluorescent lights, right? I completely forgot." Who's talking? Okay. "No, not that. Don't you smell it? There's a terrible smell about. I've been smelling it since this morning." "Wait, what's this? It reeks." Is this the dude? "What's this? It reeks! Did the sewers get backed up again?" "Do something about it, landlord. I've had to keep my nose plugged all day long." "You'd still look plenty lovely plugging your nose, my dear." There was an unhygienic drainage channel running behind the apartment. The lattice from which it flowed was stuffed with branches and fallen leaves, and when filth got caught up in them, it created an awful stench in the summertime. I think I know what this is, actually. Could you tell the municipal office about it? The drain will end up buried at this rate." "Well, yikes! It's completely blocked." "It'll start back up if you poke it with a stick." The man crossed the fence over the drainage channel and picked up a filthy drying pole sitting nearby. He must have planned to stick it into the drain and clear it out. "Oh, wait, landlord, stop that! If you mix it all strange, if you do that, it will smell terrible." "It smells if it's clogged and smells if it's mixed. What should I choose?" He shoved the drying pole into the filth in the lattice. Of course, it did nothing to help the accumulation of waste. "Yeah, it's a dead cat. It's the health center's job." "Cats and dogs smell awful when they die. A bamboo pole is not going to do much good." Garbage bags, old clothes, they throw all kinds of stuff in there. Does it matter who's talking? Like, is that a duck I see? No, of course it stinks. The nerve of some people. I'm pretty sure I know what this scene is, but it's more played out than I thought it would have been. The drainage channel was already unsanitary. What was a little more garbage at this point? The stream of such imprudent people was never ending, and now this channel had turned into a garbage dump. When he poked the pile of old clothes floating in the sewage, a black cloud of smoke floated out in the water. The two of them grimaced at the terribly bizarre and repulsive sight. "Ugh, we've got maggots, eh? Someone must have thrown kitchen waste in." "What? Landlord, what's that?" "What? Just more garbage." "Landlord, that's... Huh? Huh? Is it what I think it is? The camera flashes, excuse. Hello, good work today. What a terrible stench! Hey, someone cover this thing with a tarp. From the second floor of the houses, it's in full view. Identity of the deceased unknown. Sex female. Age estimated to be late 20s or early 30s. Time of death about 2 or 3 days ago. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the exact scene I'm thinking of, but I don't know. I remember this in the anime. She was probably abandoned after death. Naked too? Figuring out who she is will be rough. How many people are here? Contact the community division and ask if anyone's gone missing. They probably weighed her down so she'd sink. Then the weights came off and she floated to the top. But why in a drainage sewer of all things? Would have been better under an overpass or in the mountains, you know? And it would have been outside our jurisdiction, right? But it looks like they never wanted to hide the corpse at all. Did they do it so she would be found? As a warning or something? The slice in her stomach definitely wasn't from a fish eating her. She was cut open and her insides were dragged out. They really made a show out of killing her. Doesn't the Chinese mafia do these sort of traditional punishments? Ask Shige-san in Section 4 if he's had any trouble with Yakuza. On it, sir! Still, what a terrible way to go. Hey, don't her innards poking out like that look sort of like the salad soba you can get in Kyoto? Maybe if she sucked chopsticks in, noodles would pop out. See? Please, give me a break. Her intestines were pulled out and her ears and nose cut off. That's definitely not how I want to go. Her fingers are in a bad state too. There are long nails stuck in all of them on both hands. What kind of torture was this anyway? Okay. I'm not even gonna lie, in the grand scheme of things, I don't understand this scene. This is the same opening from last chapter, okay? Part of me was thinking they'd have a different one, whatever. Maybe I'll notice different things this time. It's very, very loud, so I'm turning it down with my headphones, but it's still super loud for you guys, I imagine. So, I don't know, should I wait? So that CG did not appear in Watanagashi, that's for sure. I mean, I assume this is just the opening for like the entire console release, probably. The console title is which is the name for like the entirety of Higurashi, I guess. There are some CDs here that I haven't seen anything though that I think happened probably all these new people though, I'm confused, also kind of excited to eventually get to the console parts, I think they're called, so yeah, I don't know shit about the console parts, so I'm excited for them. Do they all focus entirely on characters removed from Hinamizawa, like this girl? Because there is a dude who looks like, who kind of looks like Keiichi flashing alongside, Little Greenie, I guess I'm gonna call her. The song's pretty good. Alright then. Throw me into the fucking madness. Let's go. Put me into deep end immediately. Let me see some murder. Or just school bell. Time for funnies, I guess. The most relaxing time during the school day? Lunch, for sure. Alright, I can turn my headphones back up. Everyone brought their desks side by side like always, and we all ate together. This CG again? Alright. Oh my! Mion-san, if I may say, your lunch looks quite appetizing today. There are so many different things. It's wonderful. Satoko and Rika-chan looked at Mion's lunch, shouting gladly. Let's have a look. Whoa! I just packed in some leftovers from last night. All the elders were having a drinking party at my house yesterday. I managed to nab some of what they didn't eat. So that's why they all look like snacks you could have with sake. They're but leftovers, mere scraps of food. But when arranged in a bento box so queenly, they look impressive. Looks like part of a full-course meal at a high-class restaurant. People seem to decide if they like things mainly based on their first impression. So I thought maybe the taste of a bento would be proportional to how pretty it was when you opened it. You may seem unrefined, Mion-san, but you are positively splendid at arranging food like this. I just noticed the text box is cutting off Satoko's face. I'm supposed to be the central character of this arc. Let me be seen. There, that's all you get to see. No! Her room is nice and tidy too. Michan is a lot more organized and polite than everyone thinks. You sure? It's all the same once it's in your stomach. I'd have thought Mion would say something like that, but to think she had this kind of taste. You can't judge a book by its cover. Wow, you realized that at the beginning of this arc, but not the last one. Cool. Well, you're gonna prevent certain tragedy by, making sure a different certain tragedy happens. Mion was careful in everything she did. She never misstepped, faltered, or messed up. I see. She is our club president, after all. Yours is nothing to scoff at either, Rena. Your crab kamaboko flower is very pretty. I like how they're talking about their lunches with this CG in the background, because there's no food on the table. You know, Rena, your lunch always has, like, an art to it. Like, it has rabbit-shaped apple slices and carrot flowers and stuff. Rena's bento wasn't all about taste. It was like, like she always puts her heart into it or something. It wasn't just good, it made your insides all nice and warm. Thanks. It's not quite as good as Michan's, but I wanted to make it really cute. Huh? Cooking isn't about skill, it's about love. In that sense, I don't even come up to your feet. Love, huh? Yeah. Just from looking at her bento, I could definitely feel that Rena put her heart and soul into making it. That's what her bento was like. The taste isn't all that counts for a bento. My voice cracked mid-sentence there, good job. How it looks also matters. I suppose we must learn from this too. Huh. So, let's see Satoko and Rika-chan's up-and-coming bento. Whoa? Ta-da. Whoa! Yesterday, our neighbors shared some meat with us, so we ended up grilling it for our bento. These ones too. They had such an impact. They were bursting at the seams with grilled meat. At a glance, it was too impactful for a girl's bento, but when you thought about eating it with all your friends, it brought more than enough color to the table. Wow! At first, it looks like the kind of crude bento that a jock would eat, but there are so many different things in here. Like boiled spinach and soy sauce, and stewed hijiki. Tons of foods I don't know. Rika-chan, you're really good at this kind of unaffected cooking, huh? Yep, I think Rika-chan will make a great wife when she grows up. I have a tight hold on my future husband. Okay. A husband for Rika-chan, huh? At first it sounded appealing. It did, but I felt like a married life with her would be anything but normal. But really, everyone was amazing. They were all so young, and yet they're all capable of cooking for themselves. I would sort of cook whenever I went camping with my family, but making lunch every day was a level I definitely couldn't reach. I could only really cook in my spare time. When I thought about it like that, it really made everyone stand out more. Frankly, I respected them. Huh? I feel like maybe this doesn't only apply to other people. Come to think of it, this morning, when I was eating breakfast half asleep, I think my mom was saying something really important. With a hysteric groan, I suddenly stood up, startling everyone at once. That was supposed to be a groan? I thought it was a scream. What's wrong? You'll make us choke if you shout like that so suddenly, you know! There's rice coming out of your nose, Satoko. How'd you do that? I'd forgotten. All this stuff about cooking for yourself. It applied to me, too! What, you cooked? I mean, after last arc, we still don't know how good you are at cooking, because Satoko fucking flipped your curry pot over. Keiichi, your mom and dad need to go to Tokyo again for business. Yeah? Sleepy. Your dad's mentor felt... That's the mom. I saw the word dad and thought it was the dad.
Your dad's mentor fell ill right before an event he was taking part in. It's a very important event, and they need someone to fill in.
Well, Dad does what he has to for his job.
So your dad and I, you see, we need to go to Tokyo as fast as we can to help with the event. We might have to stay there for a few days, depending on what happens.
That sounds annoying. Yawn.
While we're gone, we won't be here, so you'll need to make your own meals yourself. Are you okay with that, Keiichi?
I'll be fine. Humans can do anything when they're desperate. Even kill their friends with a baseball bat.
Is that so? That's a relief. You can at least cook rice, right? And you can make miso soup as well. Then you just buy some side dishes and you'll have a meal.
Alternative, Mom. I just grab the ice from the freezer and just start swallowing entire cubes at a time.
Keiichi? No! Don't swallow all the ice again. We're saving it for the summer party.
Fuck the summer party, I'm thirsty!
You can just drink water!
Fuck water, it's not cold enough for me!
A meal?
Yeah. I can cook rice with my camping kit. Never used a rice cooker before. Wonder how it would taste with ice. I've only ever made instant miso soup that you make in a pot boiling water, too. Yeah, boiling water. Disgusting. Well, I'll think of something. Chew, chew, chew.
If you can cook for yourself, then you don't need much money, do you? No eating out, it's too expensive.
Isn't it? Well, this is the 1980s in Japan, but I've heard, like, it's technically cheaper to, like, eat out in Japan than it is to cook for yourself. Because food is so expensive there for some reason. Unless it's just Tokyo.
You're at the age where you should learn about cooking and personal finances now, after all.
Yep. I'll get by. No, I won't! What was I thinking? I was half asleep and I made such crazy empty promises? Just like manga characters always do at times like these, I bent over backwards and scratched furiously at my head. Scritch, scratch!
Huh. Keiichi-kun, your parents sure have it rough. Anyway, you need to keep things in order while they're gone.
Anyway, food! Food! My parents aren't here! I have to make it all myself, you know? This is a huge emergency!
Should you not simply give up and cook for yourself? Keiichi-san, did you not make a fabulous curry dish for the curry party previously?
Listen here. My mom taught me how to cook that curry when we camped, and it's the best I can do. I can't eat curry 3 meals a day. I mean, it's just junk food in the first place. There's no nutritional balance whatsoever, and it's just completely... Stupid! Shh! Wait. Oh, the teacher, probably, right? Mion and Satoko put their hands over my mouth.
I heard someone calling curry mid.
No! Next class over!
There's only one class.
Fuck. My only excuse. A moment later, the door rattled open, and Chie-sensei, a known curry maniac, suddenly poked her head in. I like how that's her only character trait so far.
Did I just hear someone bad-mouthing curry?
That's actually why she's here. Okay.
No, we didn't say anything.
Everyone's faces went totally white and they all shook their heads in denial. Her eyes rolled over the classroom. Her glare wasn't just in teacher's ordinary stare.
Is that so? Must have been the wind. I'm gonna kill the wind if it badmouths curry.
Chie-sensei gave one more look around the classroom, then closed the door and went back to the teacher's lounge. I may have been shouting, but for her to hear it from all the way across the hall in the teacher's lounge, that teacher is terrifying. Hold on, how the fuck does a teacher's lounge work in a school with one teacher and a principal? Like, there's not multiple teachers, are there? There's just Chie. And then there's the principal. And then that's it. So what the fuck? Is it just her office? Is it like an actual lounge? Like...
I got a beanbag in there and I watched Naruto all day. Kei-chan, you can disparage other foods all you want, but you might want to stay away from curry. At least, as long as you live in Hinamizawa.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's what I said. But still, I can't have curry for every meal. And cup ramen is good because you only eat it once in a while. If you ate it for every meal, you get bored of it pretty quickly. Rice and miso soup, and a good side dish. Yeah, that's what a Japanese table should look like. I've never had miso soup. I don't even really know what it is, actually.
Why can't you just try to cook for yourself? Rice you make yourself is really good.
Rice is a very versatile food, just in general.
This old man thinks it's more a pain than good. But experiencing it every once in a while might be nice.
That's right! Life is all about experiences, right? But when you cut your fingers or burn yourself, it's so sad. So very sad.
Okay. With everyone encouraging me like this, I started to feel like maybe I could do it if I tried too. Okay, delayed joke, this happens every so often. I do fucking... Is it, like, kind of pathetic of me to, like, whenever I make something like tortellini or something and I dump it all into the pot, I, like, do it very cautiously because, you know, boiling water splashing up in the air because I'm dumping tortellini into a pot of boiling water and I don't want to die. It'll die if it touches me. It'll die if it touches me. It's never hit me before, but I will die if it touches me. Though approximately one person didn't sound like she was encouraging me. Cooking is a skill I'll have to learn at some point, since I want to live on my own one day. Maybe learning now wouldn't be so bad. I'm pretty uneasy about it, but you're right. If I don't understand how to cook a few things around here, then I won't be in good shape the next time our club does a cooking showdown.
Oh, you are correct. That clever trick of yours in the last curry contest won't work every time after all.
As if scorning me, Satoko ridicules my comeback from a hopeless situation in a certain do-or-die curry showdown. And what are you so relaxed for? You relied entirely on Rika-chan back then, didn't you? What did you cook at the time exactly? You put a bag of salt in Rena's curry, a bag of salt in Mion's rice, and you flipped over my pot! Still happened? Okay, so this is a constant, got it. I relapsed into my grudge over the last curry showdown. For now, I calm my unquellable anger by pinching Satoko's ears.
Ow! My attack was because that's what they were doing for club. I may not look like it, but I can do a little bit of cooking.
Can you now? Even when you couldn't peel one carrot during the showdown and had to get Rena to do it? Why are you peeling carrot? Do carrots have skin? What the fuck? Why did I never know about this? That's kinda cursed. Don't be so daft.
People get better every day, you know? If you think I'll always be crummy at cooking, then you're quite mistaken.
Considering you're like 9, I would hope you'd get better at cooking over the course of your life, unless you never cook, like...
Right, Rika?
I have to watch or else I get worried about the pot and the flame. Sometimes you forget to turn the gas off too.
Wahahaha! Everyone bursts into laughter. That shouldn't be an issue with cooking. Even I would never do that.
I don't want to hear that from someone who eats nothing but cup ramen.
Still gotta know how to boil water to make that, though.
But Satoko can cook pretty well for herself, you know?
Rena, it's fine. You don't need to force yourself to cover up for her like that.
No, I'm not trying to cover for her or anything. It's just that Rika-chan's cooking is by far the best of all of us, so hers doesn't stand out. Satoko has mastered the basics too, right?
At the very least, I can cook rice and miso soup.
Well, she can't quite tell the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, though.
We're bringing this back up?
They're both the same anyway once you boil them.
Not really. Satoko erupted into anger, making 2 fists and swinging them above her head. Everyone laughed a lot after that.
The others don't matter. I cannot stand being laughed at by you, Keiichi-san.
Yes, perhaps I do lag behind everyone else in terms of cooking skill, but at least I'm confident I never lose to you, Satoko. Not to you, at least.
What was that? You have the gall to say you're confident. That's what's daft here. I might not seem like a good cook, but I take turns with Rika, you know. I can cook just fine for myself, thank you.
I see. Good for you for being able to cook. I'll buy some candy for you as a present later. I patted Satoko on the head while I made fun of her. Satoko seemed to know I was making fun of her too, since her face went bright red very quickly and steam started to pour out like she was a kettle.
Ah! You don't believe me, do you? Anyway, I can cook far better than you can, Keiichi-san.
I see. Then if you can tell me the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, I'll believe you. Come on, let's hear it.
The green one is broccoli. Or no, the yellow one. Cauliflower is blue, red, green.
Come on now. What color is broccoli? Blue, red, and green? It's not a television. Come on, say it. Satoko can cook just fine without knowing what color broccoli is. White. Good for you. Okay. Textbook Higurashi slice of life moment.
Stupid Keiichi! Ah!
That was nothing to cry hysterically about. She's so goddamn cute. Okay, dude. I stroked her head as hard as I could. Ruffle. If you're going to act so smug, then you can surely show us something better than Satoko, remarked Mio, giving me just a slightly mean smile. Actually, well, I had no confidence at all in my cooking, but the situation carried me along and I decided to deliver an impressive declaration. Just you wait. Tonight I will make the best darn meal you've ever seen! I'll even make a little too much and pack it for lunch tomorrow. You'll be so surprised you'll fall over. I'd like to think I'm decent at cooking. You see, I can put French fries in the air fryer, only burn them slightly, microwave some cheese on top of it, and it tastes pretty good. That's cheating, I know, but it still tastes good, so I don't care.
That sounds like fun. I can't wait for lunchtime tomorrow.
Rika-chan petted me on the head. Her words of can't wait sounded so transparent.
Rena is excited too. I promise I won't laugh no matter what you make.
Alright, so maybe I'll go all out on my bento tomorrow too. Then let's do this. Let's have a bento showdown tomorrow. As a club activity, of course. And we'll throw in a punishment game too.
My, what an ingenious idea that is. How is that, Keiichi-san? I'll give you one chance to back down.
Satoko wiped her tears and snarled at me as if this was her chance to turn things around. Maybe this is bad? I feel like maybe the conversation is getting pretty out of hand. No, if I apologize, now's my chance? But what came out of Keiichi Mayabara's mouth was a statement so reckless it even frightened me. Yeah, you're on! My bento tomorrow will write you, yeah, I'm good at reading. Will knock you right out of your shoes! Whoa! Everyone raised their voices in surprise at my bold, confident reply. Now I've done it! What have I done? I'm so irresponsible!
So, Mion-san, what sort of fantastic punishment game will we have to play if we lose?
Satoko grinned fearlessly, as if to say that it was already decided I'd be playing said fantastic punishment game. Let's see. Okay, how about this? Whoever loses tomorrow's bento showdown during lunch break tomorrow dies! I mean, has to go up to Chie-sensei as she's eating in the teacher's lounge and say bad things about curry. That's a big ouchie, holy shit.
Me-chan? That's...
How terrifying!
I was planning on making a joke already, just being like, whoever loses dies first this arc. Watch that actually be the case though, I don't want to call it. Because I don't remember who dies in what order. Well, I do know 2 characters who at least don't die for most of the arc, but that's it. Everyone went pale and gasped at how truly terrifying the punishment game was.
Chie-sensei is such a maniac about curry that she'd risk her life for it. And to go up to her and start saying bad things about curry? What kind of fate would await us? Just trying to imagine it was scary. And as everyone looked blankly amazed at the terrifying punishment game, Rika-chan spoke.
Tomorrow's contest will be decided by skill.
Rena and Mion and Satoko. Everyone nodded deeply in agreement.
Although Keiichi-san's problem might be his own dinner tonight, rather than tomorrow's bento.
Ha! How disappointing that you can't witness what an amazing dinner I'm going to make tonight. I'll let you have a glimpse of it in my bento tomorrow, so look forward to it.
That is quite a lot of grandstanding. You do know what will happen if you come to us with something terrible, right?
I just can't wait. How much trouble you'll be in with Chie-sensei tomorrow, Satoko.
Yes, I can't wait either! To see you, Keiichi-san, groveling before her and begging for forgiveness. Saying it all with tears streaming down your face. Yes, I can just see it now!
What was that? Yank!
Yeah!
Stretch. Both of us on the verge of tears pull on each other's cheeks. Stretch. They're just like siblings. Trying to muster all your desperation by placing yourself in a predicament. Kei-chan, that's so manly.
That isn't manly or anything of the sort. It's called being reckless. He can't even cook well. Stretch!
Rena believes in you. I'm looking forward to your wonderful bento. I'm looking forward very much to seeing Keiichi tomorrow as well.
Your expectant gazes were painful. I was just trying to tease Satoko a little. How did it come to this? Yeah, you better look forward to it. How am I able to say such reckless things? I'm being so unreasonable. What the heck is going to happen to my dinner? And the bento showdown tomorrow? No, more importantly, if they make me say bad things about curry to Chie-sensei's face, what'll happen to me? The extreme contrast between my outward bravado and my internal screaming continued as the hot and humid June afternoon dragged on. How fun. Just make like chicken fried rice or something, dude. That's not that hard. That entire day, up until school was over, the whole time, my meal tonight and my bento tomorrow were the only things on my mind. And now that I thought about it, it made Mom seem amazing for planning 3 meals every day of the year. I've complained before about having the same meal in a row once in a while, but now I know how rude that was. More importantly, what am I gonna do about the punishment game tomorrow? And besides that, what am I gonna eat tonight? Boo-hoo.
Keiichi-kun? Keiichi-kun?
Huh? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about stuff.
About what to make tonight? Or about the bento showdown tomorrow?
Yeah. She hit the mark and I couldn't find anything to say. And my facial expression made obvious the fact that she hit the mark. She tends to do that.
For tomorrow's showdown, I think that if you do your best to make a bento, you'll be fine. There's nothing superior to a bento you tried really hard to make all by yourself.
Tomorrow's showdown is one thing, but what about dinner tonight? I might suddenly get food poisoning. I couldn't make any more bluffs. I exaggeratedly drooped my shoulders and heaved a sigh from the bottom of my gut. Just make cup ramen, like, dude, just do that and then focus on the bento. Rena laughed in a shrill way when she saw me do that.
Keiichi-kun, you don't have any confidence in your cooking at all, do you?
So I've been found out. Ugh.
If it looks like you can't do it no matter how hard you try, you can always give Rena a call.
Huh? Really?
But only if you try really hard first, okay? You can't rely on others without first struggling yourself.
Rena seemed naive, but sometimes she was instructive. She didn't just spoil people unconditionally. Rena always seemed like an adult at these moments. If I absolutely can't do it, I'll call you. Though the chances are extremely high.
Go for it! Yay! You were grandstanding so much to Satoko-chan that you have to try your best.
Hey, about Satoko. How good is she at cooking?
She's at least better than you.
I'm so direct. It hit me pretty hard.
You're making fun of her a lot, too. Maybe you should have to struggle just a little, huh?
Ugh. Rena, you're pretty mean.
Rena isn't all cute, all cute.
Now that I'd provoked Satoko that much, couldn't it just make some crummy bento? I can't believe how loose-lipped I am!
Okay, bye. Good luck. On the cooking. Show everyone that you can do it if you really try.
Yeah. I waved my hand absently in response. Leaving me with words of encouragement and a few pieces of super beginner advice, Rena disappeared past the trees. Ah, the end of the first part. That first part was shorter than the first part of Watanagashi. Yo, you got any tips? I didn't think so. I'm gonna continue. Because I talked for like 20 minutes at the beginning, so this is not nearly enough. Let's make some fucking food! Okay. Fine, I'm desperate. So what? I may not know the ABCs of navigation, and I have neither a sea chart nor a compass. But still, one idiot is taking on the ocean of the great cooking age alone. And his name is Keiichi Maebara. Let's go! Time to cook! My enthusiasm is peerless. If energy and recklessness was all it took, I could take over the world. However, there are plenty of things in the world that can't be achieved with resolution alone. And cooking was probably the top contender. Therefore, even if it was hastily prepared knowledge, I wanted something to help me. I made up my mind and fished through the kitchen cabinets. I was on the hunt for a cookbook. My mom should have had a few of them. For a complete amateur like me, the first thing I needed was information. Just like he who would cross the oceans needed a compass. For me, a cookbook was absolutely indispensable. Now, here's one. Its worn out, wrinkled cover made it feel somehow reliable. Okay, as long as I've got this, it's easier to give it a shot than think about it, right? Anyone can concoct the tastes of a gourmet chef as long as they have a cookbook. Cookbooks are great. And as such optimistic thoughts filled my chest, I flipped through the pages. However... Whoa. It played with technical terminology like toys. I just couldn't see how to actually make things. You knew it all along, Keiichi Maebara. If anyone can make delicious food just by reading a book, then there'd be no such job as a gourmet chef in the first place. First off, it calls for 3 teaspoons, but which spoon is that? Bruh. And it keeps saying to use however much you like. How much exactly are you supposed to use? Stop using such obscure expressions! Strain out the water in a colander. Add salt and pepper to taste? What the heck is a colander? And strain it out? Like stretching? You can't stretch water droplets like meat. And besides, how much salt and pepper is that supposed to be anyway? Aren't there any beginner-friendly guides in here? Won't do you any good to yell. You'll just peak your microphone. Cool off, Keiichi Maebara. Think calmly. Calmly. For now, I'll leave the side dish until after. The rice is more important. I have to cook the rice, or I can't start. I know a little about how to cook rice. I didn't cook it with my camping kit when camping all the time for nothing. I'll wash the rice. That should be enough water. And which switch is it? Is it this button? Oh, the lamp turned on. Yeah. Fully automatic rice cookers are one of the 3 sacred treasures after all. Now pleased by the rice cooker set, I pulled myself together and decided to take on the miso soup next. The miso soup I made at day camp was all the instant kind after all. Well, it would be fine if I just melted the miso into hot water, no doubt. Now boil the water and put in the miso. Huh? How much should I put in? Oh, let's see here. Use the proper amount according to the number of people in your tastes? Enough with the vague expressions! Fine, then I'll put in the proper amount. I crushed the bag of miso in my fist and put half of its contents into the pot. Was this really okay? Maybe this was a little too hearty? They do say miso soup is best when it tastes strong. Come to think of it, my mom's miso soup is a little thin. Maybe I like it better with this much in it. I said it aloud as if trying to convince myself. Then convinced by my own words, I nodded to myself. Alright, the rice and miso soup were probably fine. Next, the side dish. Mashed potatoes. But what should I make? Something I could make that would add color to the meal. That's it, why don't I stir fry some vegetables? You can eat vegetables raw too, and they won't die from just from a little bit of fire. That was so cute then, not realizing that the level of my thoughts had fallen from what would look great in a meal to what would be easy to make. There were quite a few vegetables in the refrigerator. What kind of vegetables go in a stir fry? Bean sprouts? Cabbage? Chives? Onions? Can you put cucumbers and lettuce in it? For now, I grabbed a nearby cutting board, cut them into chunks, and tossed them into a wok. This has gotten pretty exciting. It's the true worth of... So, wait, you know what a wok is, but not a colander? Japan. Whatever. Is the true worth of men's cooking? Wait, what? I don't know. Hey, this is actually getting kind of fun. All of a sudden, there was a pile of vegetables in the wok. Alright, next is the salad oil. Glug, glug, glug went the salad oil. It'd be more exciting if I filled it to the brim. Whoops, a bit leaked out. Well, no point in worrying about something so minor. You're gonna slip and fall, aren't you? The great Keiichi Mayabaru's cooking is exciting! Okay, let's turn on the heat. Blip. Whoosh. The salad oil filling the wok to the brim caught fire, and flames reached up to the sky. Amazing! Maybe I can be an iron chef, too! What if I'm really good at cooking with fire? Those words were spoken by delusion. I was saying something outrageously careless, but when the words came out, they sort of convinced me. Yes, I am an iron chef! Hot, hot, hot! Right as the crazy pillar of flame started to burn the ceiling, I finally realized that the fabulous cooking before my eyes had culminated into an actually life-threatening disaster. I need the ice! Wait, what? Could I have been doing something insane? The force of the flame grew stronger and stronger. Wait, what? What? Wait, why are you here?
Yeah! What in the world are you doing? You must stop the flames this instant!
Click the whack. Somebody forcefully struck me in the back of the head, knocking my head into the pan, and then I died. Oh, you're both here. When I turned around to see what was going on, to my surprise, I saw Satoko and Rika-chan there. Huh? Satoko? Rika-chan? Are we gonna talk for 20 minutes while the pot's on fire? Because that'd be great, and totally in character for this game. As I stood in wonder at their unexpected entrance, Satoko shoved me out of the way and turned off the gas. Then Rika-chan got a towel, soaked it in water, spread it out, and placed it over the pot. She continued to soak more towels, and put a second on, then a third. Once a whole bunch were piled on, the fire finally stopped. All of it had happened in a few moments. Yeah, there's a black spot on the ceiling, Mom, but you know, it adds character to the house. It brings down the property value, Keiichi! Who cares? We're all gonna die anyways! Having avoided a huge fire by a hair's breadth, the three of us gasped for air. Wait, what are you doing in my house? You're trespassing on private property!
Yes, well, Keiichi-san, you realize Joe Biden's been elected, so now it's a communist country.
This is Japan, and that's not even true.
You've been caught red-handed in the act of arson. It was just about to turn into a huge building fire, wasn't it? It would be very, very sad if Keiichi was homeless after this.
Oh shit, I could have burned my porn down. And after pretending to be an iron chef, I finally began to take in the situation. So, that was really about to set the house on fire?
Is that not obvious? Just look at it! The ceiling is all sooty, is it not? Chimneys are the only things that should be sooty.
No, you don't realize I'm part of Soot House, Satoko. They disbanded! No, they didn't! I still have dreams! Satoko was seriously mad at me. Maybe they saved my life. According to what they said, I was so absorbed in my fiery cooking that I hadn't noticed when Satoko and Rika-chan rang the doorbell. But they could tell someone was home, so they came in to check. Thank goodness they did. I could've fucking died.
If Satoko and I hadn't come, the fire engines would have been going wee-oo right now.
Where's the nearest fire department? Christ.
Keiichi-san, do you understand now how serious this was?
At some point, I had sat down on my knees as I listened obediently. I'm sorry. You two saved my life. Why are you apologizing to them? Like, you didn't do anything wrong to them. You just almost burned down your house.
We thought we would come and see what a fabulous dinner you made. But as we thought, it's a mess. At this rate, we won't even need to look at your bento.
You're mean. So, you and Rika-chan came all this way just to see what I'd make for dinner? Keiichi, why don't you just cheat on the bento? Like, win by any means, just fill it with ice cream, like...
Us being mean saved your house and your life. Is that not something to take to heart?
This is my bento.
It's ice cubes.
No, it was ice cubes. It melted in my backpack. Yes. I'm sorry, Satoko-san. Why are you talking like that? What happened? Are you choking on smoke? At this point, having shown them such a disaster, I couldn't exactly make any more bluffs, and completely surrendered.
And yet you tried really hard on the curry. Where did the Keiichi-san from back then go? Jeez.
I had all our underclassmen help me then. I just borrowed entire pots from the other teams. I didn't really cook anything.
Keiichi-san, you cheated? Jeez, you might have been doing what our club usually does, but that was terrible.
Pouring salt into the other team's pots seemed far more terrible to me. But Satoko was in control right now, so I couldn't respond. I obediently hang my head to her.
By the way, Keiichi-san, this terrible pot, this wasn't supposed to be miso soup, was it?
Satoko stared at the pot, totally full of miso, with an awful expression. So I really did get the amount wrong. Judging by the look on Satoko's face, whatever was in the pot couldn't be called miso anymore. Forget the miso soup. The rice should be cooked just fine. Rice cookers these days are pretty convenient. It should be just about done. How the fuck did it just astral project through the wall and spill? Fuck!
Meat. It's not cooked. See, the inside is still all watery.
Huh? What? But I switched it on and the little light came on.
Keiichi-san, the button you pushed was the timer button, okay? It's set for breakfast, so it won't turn on until tomorrow morning.
So then, what? In the end, I don't have a side dish, or miso soup, or even rice. Couldn't make anything myself.
It serves you right. So, have you finally realized your place? Come, admit it. Say it. I, Keiichi Mayabara, am all bark and a much crummier cook than Satoko Hojo-san.
I'm a terrible person and a crummier cook than Satoko. I beg your forgiveness. I fainted in agony. Okay, the end, he died. Rika-chan pat my head, satisfied at the sight. And Satoko laughed loudly in triumph. I've completely lost! That happens. In the end, I talked big, but couldn't make a single dish adequately. At this rate, I'll go without dinner. And tomorrow morning, no breakfast. And no bento for lunch either. I didn't know how many days it would be before my parents returned, but at this rate, without a doubt, I'll starve to death!
Meep.
Of course, I'll have no bento tomorrow either!
Meep.
And I'm sure to get the punishment game tomorrow!
Meep!
Rika-chan kept on patting my head with a smile on her face that couldn't possibly get any bigger. Satoko, completely appalled at how unsightly I looked, heaved a heavy sigh.
Adult men are just so pathetic, aren't they? Come on! Please, move yourself out of the way!
As I sobbed like a girl, Satoko, displeased, brushed me aside, dumped the remains of the miso soup into the sink tidy, then began to rinse out the pot. Don't worry about it, Satoko. I can at least clean up after my own mess. I couldn't have Satoko clean up the cooking utensils I'd made a mess of. But when I tried to stop her, Rika-chan pulled on my clothes.
Keiichi, you can just be silent and watch.
She grinned as she said it. Be quiet and watch? What are you saying, Rika-chan?
She meant just what she said. Keiichi-san, just be quiet and leave this to me.
Satoko turned around and declared, seeming bothered. As if to say that amateurs should keep their hands off. Her annoyed expression was a little scary. Leave what to you? Satoko didn't answer. Instead, she spun back around and began to rifle through the pots in the refrigerator. Hey, wait! Don't mess with them too much! If you turn the place inside out, my mom might get mad at me later.
Would you just be quiet already? Men aren't supposed to enter the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I forgot the 80s.
Rika!
Aye, aye, sir.
Satoko snapped her fingers, and Rika-chan got on her tiptoes, grabbed me by the back of my neck, and started dragging me away. Ah! Leaving Satoko alone in the kitchen, Rika-chan dragged me back into the living room. Hey, stop! Rika-chan! Let me go already! If we leave it to Satoko, the kitchen will be a disaster! As you almost burned down your house.
Satoko came to see how she beat you today. It's her revenge.
Revenge?! Come to think of it, her face looked kinda grim. Eventually, from the kitchen, there was the sound of a faucet being twisted and a stove dial being turned. I began to hear the nostalgic sounds that made me envision dinner time. The refrigerator opening and closing, ingredients being cut on the chopping board. Nostalgic? Dude, didn't your parents leave yesterday? What did that mean? Was Satoko... was she cooking? Nah, that's not surprising.
Keiichi made fun of her quite a lot. Satoko wanted to show you that she can cook proper meals too.
Ugh. Just listening to it like this. There haven't been any sounds of blood spilling, or bursting, or explosions. At this point, at least, she had proven she was a more skillful cook than me. In the cooking showdown with Satoko Hojo versus Keiichi Maebara, it looked like victory had already been decided. I recalled Satoko's slightly annoyed expression from before. I was making fun of Satoko too much today, wasn't I? Is she holding a grudge? We were just provoking each other with our usual back and forth. But I also think I maybe overdid it. At the very least, I shouldn't have made fun of Satoko, who could cook for herself, when I never cooked other than for recreation before.
Satoko isn't holding very much of a grudge.
But she came all the way to my house and pushed her way in. She's gotta be mad. I quietly took a peek into the kitchen. She definitely looked different than the usual bird-brained Satoko. Her eyes were sharp and her movements were brisk, to the point where it was a little scary. Then she must have noticed me, because she turned around and shot me an annoyed glare. I cringed in fear and hastily pulled my head back out. She's mad! She's totally mad! How will she take revenge on me?
That's just Satoko being serious because she doesn't want to fail. She isn't angry or anything.
How can you say she isn't angry? I've never seen Satoko be this frightening.
Keiichi-san, I can hear that, you know!
Sorry! I jumped at Satoko's angry outburst and faced towards the kitchen. I felt exactly like a kid who had done something bad and gotten called to the teacher's lounge.
Where do you keep the miso? The refrigerator is so big that I don't see any of it anywhere.
I'm sorry! The miso it's on the middle shelf in the fridge, at the back left of the lower rack.
What is this? You need to close the miso package after you finish with it. It's getting the inside of the refrigerator dirty, isn't it?
I'm sorry! Before I can look for something to wipe it with, Satoko wiped it off with a wet dish towel.
I swear. How are men so bad at cleaning up after themselves?
I was about to ask how you know so much about dudes, but you did have an older brother. Or you do have an older brother. Or maybe both. I don't know.
I shudder to think that you'll become an adult like this.
Ugh. I couldn't talk back to Satoko today. The only thing I could do was obediently lower my head and apologize. As Satoko nitpicked and I apologized, a good smell began to fill the kitchen.
This is how you prepare the miso for the soup. You scoop a little out with the ladle and break it up with chopsticks. It's important to add a little at a time and keep tasting it. Dumping the entire thing into the pot is absolutely outrageous.
I'm sorry. I never paid attention in home ec class.
You're pathetic! I swear. Men! Grumble, grumble.
I cowered at her annoyed-sounding muttering. But looking at her like this, she seemed quite good at cooking. It had just been overshadowed by Rena's and Rika-chan's artistic abilities. Satoko's skills were clearly enough to get passing marks.
Hey, if you have time to zone out like that, then you can go set the table. Rika and I will be eating too, so set 3 places.
On it! I hastily took a three people's worth of dishes, okay, and such from the cabinets and headed to the dining room. I mean, maybe that is grammatically correct, but I've never heard anyone speak like that before. When I returned there, I could hear laughter from a variety show on the television. Rika-chan was sprawled out on the couch, watching television and relaxing. When she noticed me putting the dishes out on the table, she came scampering up.
Dinner time is soon. Dinner at Keiichi's house.
Nipa! She hasn't said that at all in the visual novel, so that's funny. That this is the first fucking time? Seriously? Rika-chan, you're in a good mood. That's a pretty big difference from Satoko.
Satoko isn't in a bad mood at all. She's enjoying herself more than she has in a long time.
Enjoying herself? Seriously?
She's like how she was when her Nini was with her.
Oh my god, fucking... Oh shit, I was hoping that they would translate that differently. Oh god, I'm gonna have to say that constantly this arc and another one. Fuck. It really
has been a long time since I've seen Satoko look like she's having so much fun.
Nini? What the heck is Nini? Is it a cat? Is it a sound cats make?
Nini means brother. Satoko's older brother.
Satoko's older brother?
He's named Satoshi. Haven't you heard his name before?
Satoshi. Satoshi Hojo? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. At least he didn't go to our school. Satoshi, huh? Satoko's older brother. This is a new song. That's the first time I've heard of him. She had a brother, huh? I didn't know that. She does have one. Wait, was she supposed to say that out loud, I'm guessing? Saying that, Rika-chan grinned more brightly and went Nipa again.
When Satoko was with Satoshi, she always looked like she was having fun, just like this. It really has been a long time since I've seen Satoko enjoying herself this much.
However I looked at it, she seemed to be in a bad mood. But her good friend, Rika-chan, was saying that it was actually the opposite. Is she really enjoying herself?
She must be remembering the time she spent with her Nini. It's nostalgic.
Nostalgic? Huh. Then does he live apart from Satoko? Maybe Satoko's older brother Satoshi is actually a lot older than her? He must have gone off on his own and was living by himself far away. Satoko seems like she got along well with this Satoshi person.
She did. The two of them got along very well.
She spread her arms wide to demonstrate the width of how well they got along. According to Rika-chan, Satoko supported her docile, slightly unreliable older brother through nagging. That was their relationship. I see. That certainly applied to the current situation. We had me, unreliable, unable to cook even a single dish properly, and Satoko, who redid it while scolding me. Could Satoko have been getting a glimpse of her brother, who now lived far away, through me? So she would always nitpick whatever Satoshi did. But she firmly supported him and they got along well.
Today, she was the one. She suggested we should go to Keiichi's house.
She said there's no way the unreliable Keiichi-san could possibly make dinner. We need to go make it for him. Then she didn't come here to get revenge or to get even or anything like that.
She couldn't leave you alone. Even now, Satoko is a proper little sister.
I was an only child. I didn't know how it felt to have siblings. Of course, I've never had a little sister like Satoko, but I felt that in this moment, I was an older brother, obediently and helplessly being looked after by her, without any teasing or messing around. I'm going to give thanks for her trouble. That's what I honestly thought.
Keiichi-san! Do you know where on earth the ladle is?
Sorry. The ladle should be in the drawer to your right.
I ran into the kitchen, got the Ladle out of the drawer, and offered it to Satoko.
It's all done. Have you put the bowls and things out?
Yeah, everything's a-okay.
Then let us have our meal. Rika! It's time for dinner!
Me.
I heard Rika-chan's effervescent? I've never heard of this word before. Effervescent voice coming from the dining room. Satoko turned off the gas flame on the stove and lifted up the pot of miso soup.
Could you bring the rice cooker, Keiichi-san? Be careful not to flip it over, alright?
Alright, I'll be careful. I can carry rice cookers just fine without being warned about it. I thought about replying like that, but I decided not to. No mean words or witty retorts today. Rice with steam billowing from it, and miso soup, as well as a handful of side dishes. On the table was a truly firm, family-oriented dinner. It wasn't weird at all, or extravagant. It was a daily meal, the sort a housewife would make. It was very nonchalant and brimming with liveliness.
Then let us eat!
Thank you for the food! At Satoko's command, Rika-chan and I both thanked her in a loud voice. Okay. I made light of you, Satoko. You've beaten me soundly.
Oh! Do you have a better opinion of me now? I may still not be as good as Rika or Rena-san, but I can cook far better than the helpless Keiichi-san.
Yeah, I know better now. After I honestly admitted my defeat, Satoko's expression finally softened, and she laughed with her normally loud and cheerful voice. Chomp chomp. Oh, the rice is cooked really well. Though she used a rice cooker, it tasted a little different from the rice my mom made. Maybe she used a different amount of water for it. Even so, I could feel Satoko's personality from the rice, which made it taste better than usual. I mean, okay, that's a weird way of putting it. The miso soup was a little on the thick side, but it was still delicious. The side dishes, while not exactly flashy, tasted great as well. It was also appetizing, and I couldn't stop eating. The side dishes are well done too. Satoko, you're not a bad cook at all. I gave my honest impression, without a hint of sarcasm. Satoko seemed to have been expecting some, because when I praised her so honestly, she got flustered instead.
Ha ha ha! Your praise honors me, but it's nothing so grand. The side dishes are just things I bought at the store and heated up. This and this, all I did was open the can. I can only really make rice and miso soup myself.
Satoko said, embarrassed, her face a bit flustered? Flushed, sorry. There was none of her normal verbal abuse or sarcasm in there either.
I can't make anything except rice and miso soup, but when you get ready-made side dishes and put them on the table too, it turns into something fairly splendid.
My mom uses ready-made side dishes and canned goods too. It's nothing to be so embarrassed about. This is a fantastic dinner. I gave her honest praise. I've never met Satoko's brother, but Satoshi would probably praise her in the same way.
Well, I suppose it's enough now that you've come to realize that I can hold my own in the kitchen. Would you like seconds? There's plenty of miso soup still left.
Huh? Did that brat just awkwardly change the subject? When I realized my response had been on the mark, it made me a little happy.
When we eat rice like this, it's fun, like we're eating with Satoshi.
Rika-chan mentioned Satoko's older brother's name again. Satoko's chopsticks paused, and she looked up at the ceiling.
How nostalgic. I wonder what he could be doing right now.
She had a faraway smile, as if yearning for a friend who had moved away. From how it looked, I got the impression she hadn't seen Satoshi in quite some time. Satoko realized I was giving her a blank stare.
I do apologize. Satoshi is my Nini. No, my older brother.
Ah, okay. I see. Nini must have been a nickname only Satoko used for him. It was funny to see her hastily deny it.
I was rather surprised a person with such few living skills had the ability to run away. Well, I'm sure he'll pack up shop at some point and return out of the blue.
So he ran away. There was another story to what Satoko had said so cheerfully. The reason for Satoshi not living with her was a little serious. Everyone had been talking about it in such an upbeat way, so I continued to talk about him. Should I not have broached the subject at all? I hastily took a look at Satoko's face after thinking that, but there was no trace of the gloomy expression I'd been worrying about.
Well, he's not old enough to be dreaming of living on his own. Nini won't be able to do it for long anyway. He has no endurance.
Satoshi may not look like it, but he's a very persevering person. He's a lot more persevering than you think.
Rika, you always take Nini's side right away. You're a little too nice to him.
Satoko is just too harsh on Nini. You should treat him more kindly when he comes back.
Satoko and Rika-chan's views regarding Nini, aka Satoshi, were parallel to each other. But I could easily tell that both of them really liked him. They were so optimistic too. Even though he had run away from them, it was like they were going to see him again next week. Satoko and Rika-chan both liked Satoshi even now, and waited for him, believing he would surely return. I've never met him, but I know for sure that this Satoshi person was a really good guy. I had thought Satoko would be deeply hurt by her brother running away, but she had already overcome that. She was still being the energetic little sister, always full of vim and vigor, as if to say that her brother could come back at any time he liked. I thought that Satoko didn't think through anything and just frolicked and played practical jokes every day, and that was it. But she was really... yeah.
Why are you petting my head?
I roughly rubbed a hand through Satoko's hair. I misunderstood you, Satoko. I didn't know you were this level-headed. Satoko seemed to think I was making fun of her and tried to bat away my hand. But then she saw that there wasn't even a trace of malice on my face and obediently granted me her head. Yep, Satoko's level-headed. She sure is.
I've been level-headed from the start. I was just playing pranks on you because you always do it to me.
There was her usual provocation, but I decided not to buy into it today. You're right. You were just doing it to go along with me. But you really were so level-headed. Good for you.
Is that actually a compliment? It kind of seems like you're making fun of me.
I'm not trying to make fun of you at all. I'm seriously complimenting you. Because if I was making fun of you, Rika-chan would be petting your head too.
That's right, isn't it? When Rika makes fun of people, she usually pets her head.
Meep. These canned sardines are delicious.
Rika-chan went Nipa and her smile became even brighter. Her attitude was queer as day, but it was annoyingly cute, so both Satoko and I suddenly burst into laughter. That laughter lightened up the table. The table itself is so dull and simple that I never even thought people could be laughing like this around it. And then, I finally came to realize something really obvious. Dinner is better if you're laughing while you're eating, huh? Who the fuck is calling me on Facebook? Holy shit, now, dude? Who are you? Evan, I'm playing Genshin later, I know. It's almost 6.
Of course it is. Laughing makes it taste better.
How rude! The food is good because I'm a good cook, obviously!
Ha 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 ha! This harmonious moment, this happy circle, it was completely different than spending time with family, but still somehow nostalgic. Satoko, do you want to see Nini?
I didn't say Nini! Call him my brother, please!
Hey, wait, you've been saying Nini this, Nini that this whole time. I grinned wryly and decided to just call him brother like she told me to. Satoko, do you want to see your brother? Rika-chan stopped eating, then looked back and forth between my face and Satoko's. Satoko was smiling. She looked like she was trying to choose her words. Just from that, Satoko conveyed her feelings. Honestly, she wished he would come home right now. But she wasn't that weak. Satoshi should just do what he wanted until he was satisfied. In return, she'd let him have the scolding of his lifetime. And then she'd have dinner with him and lay out his futon for him.
Well, of course I want to see him again. It's been almost a year.
It's been that long already. Rika-chan smiled thinly, her eyes appearing to look far away.
Well, Nini can do what he wants. It would lighten my load if he came back with more muscles and knowing how to do housework, of course.
See? He said Nini again.
You said it.
I did not! I would never call Nini Nini.
Frickin' tetsu moment. Things rapidly returned to the usual lively atmosphere of lunchtime at school. But nothing changed about Satoko's feelings towards her brother. She was living so bravely and so strongly. Hey, Satoshi. Your sister's trying so hard to watch the place while you're gone, isn't she? Give it a rest. Come back soon. Got it? Alright, well, I think I'm gonna end things here. I get the feeling we're probably towards the end of this quote-unquote chapter, but that feels like a pretty decent place to end. And as you can tell from the Facebook call in the background, I got plans. So yeah, I'm liking this so far. Definitely a much more serious opening to this chapter than the previous two. I mean, I guess you could argue Watanagashi had a relatively serious opening with the doll and stuff, but that was more a serious thing being passed off as goofy, I guess. But yeah, either way, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, then be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, then fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!